Welcome to another day, the eighth day or the eighth part of learning with me. So it's been a while, and that was because I got a few responsibility that made it hard for me to do anything. But yeah, I'm back at it. And you remember in the previous video, I faced a very big challenge, and I discovered actually the problem was me. Okay, Amadeus has no problem. Of course, their error handling has a few things I would change. Okay, if I was to redevelop their API, okay, especially the way they send messages. But yeah, I've discovered most of the problem was me, and I'm going to show you. So the first thing, I'll go to the service, okay, and I show you something. If I go to where is the services, external services flight, okay, I think this should be called flights. It would give a better name. And then I come here to the service that is concerned with creating an order. You're going to see that I made important changes. Okay. So previously, okay, before, if you remember properly, we're picking the flight search data, which is a flight offer from the client, okay, and passing it here. But I learned the hard way that however much you do that, Amadeus, I think, is very strict with how it validates its data. Okay, behind the scenes, you will always fail. Okay, you'll always fail. You always get a 400 bad request. And I tried and tried it, but it failed. So I learned the hard way. Actually, this is from the documentation. If you go to the documentation, where can I find it? You're going to see this is not the page. I think it should be this one. Okay, you see, this is their example. Okay, this is the example of flight create orders. In this example, they before they create an order, okay, you find that they actually create a search for the same information again. Okay, so what I understood is that the location code must be the same, the destination code must also be the same, the departure date must be the same, everything, okay, that you put in the first request should also be the same in this request. Okay, so when I was actually looking through their documentation and their guides, they say that it will be able to reproduce the same information. Okay, then after this, okay, you are allowed, I mean, you're supposed to confirm. Okay, you search, confirm, then create an order. Should you try to skip any of this, it won't work. Trust me, I spent and almost blacked out out of my head, but it didn't work. It was so crazy. Okay, so let me go on and walk you through the changes I made. Okay, so when you come here, you see now I changed what, okay, this function picks, and to see it, we need to go to the route. Okay, this is search flights. Okay, so I'll come to flight order and show you. Okay, so this path operation function expects a request body, okay, which is of type flight order request body, and we know because of this, FastAPI will be able to do the validations and extractions for us. Okay, so if I go to this type, okay, if I go to it, how can I click? Okay, command click. Okay, you see it's simply a Pydantic base model, and it has a number of attributes. Okay, original location code, destination location code, the departure date, return date, adults, and travelers. Okay, and you can see that the return date is actually optional. Okay, but travelers is and others, okay, are required. Okay, so this is how the request is going to look like. And if you've noticed, okay, I made some changes. Okay, you see that this one is in its own module. Initially, before I had the file, okay, called flights, okay, which was storing literally everything, okay, information concerning the flights, okay, I mean the schemas for the flights, which means Pydantic based models responsible for the request input and the response, okay, the output. Request being the input and the response being the output. This way I store them. But now, because they're becoming quickly big and this was AI generated, I abandoned it and I began creating specific modules for specific path operation path validation function. So like for this one, works only for search, okay? This other one works only for price confirmation. And this one works for flight orders, okay? So for flight orders, this is the definition of the pandantic based model. And I use it here in the flight order route, okay? So after that, I convert it to uh, a to a dictionary, okay, using model dump, okay. By alias, because tree is not really necessary. So it was something actually I was just trying out, that if your pandantic model has aliases, they will be maintained, okay. Then after that, I simply pass this request body to the create flight order. So, and then this create flight order returns the response, which I return to the user. So I want to go into this create flight order to show you the changes. So here, of course, from the request body, okay, I pick the travelers separately, okay. Then I build the body. So how I build the body is very interesting, okay. I start by constructing the original location code, okay, and I get it from the request body. I get the destination location code from request body.get destination location code. I pick the departure date from request body.get departure date. I pick the adults information from request body.get adults. Now, if you look at this, there is no key called return date. The only keys I have are origin location date, destination location date, departure date, and adults date. I mean adults only, okay? These are the keys. So if a person fills in the return date, okay, I notice that by using this, okay? Request.get return date. So when I get the return date, I have this entire body, okay, added on with the return date. What do I mean? Okay, you see we have here origin location code. Even up here I have origin location code. Here I have destination location code. Here I have also destination location code. Here I have departure date. Here I also have departure date. Here I have adults. Here I also have adults. Then return date is the new one. Okay, so I'm simply updating, redefining this. Actually, I'm thinking about a way in Python. There is a way to update a dictionary. Okay, I don't know. I did not think about this. Okay, let me show you. If I go to if I simply go to Google search update Python dictionary, okay, it's actually there. It's because I think at that time when I was doing it, I could not did not come to my mind. Okay, you see, they say Python dictionary update method. Okay, you see here they have. Let me expand this so that you can see it properly. You see they have a car dictionary having a brand, a model, and a year. Then they say car dot update. Okay, color white. So this is what I should have done. Okay, and I'm going to do is if you say definition and use it, they say update method inserts the specified items to the dictionary. The specified items can be a dictionary or anything else. Okay, so I'll close this and go back to our code. Okay, and continue. Okay, and here after that, then I make a flight search. Okay, and I unpack the information in the dictionary using these double asterisks. This is usual Python. Okay, and body, meaning it will say original location code equals to this, destination location code equals to this right here. Okay, then I pick its data. Okay, and store it in a variable called flight search. After that, I make another request by saying self.amadeus shopping flight offers pricing post. Okay, I using this from this flight search, I pick the first element, okay, which I'm interested in, okay, to confirm the price of that flight offer which has been given, okay, because it's only one that we're interested in for only one person. Okay, and actually if you print out the values, you'll see that's actually what the first one we are only interested in, so it will be at index 0 and it's the only one. Okay, so that's actually correct. After confirming the price, okay, then I come here and I say Amadeus.booking.flight orders.post, okay. Now create an order for that flight, okay, and pass in the information of the travelers. Then I can return the booked flight. Should you miss any step here, even if you print the value of flight search at index 0, okay, and log it properly, you'll never get it right. Okay, you'll actually cry. I took a lot of time until I understood that there's no way of doing this. So I'm going to go on and test it. Okay. So I'm not going forward. I won't be actually using Postman, because with Postman, I am able to actually save information and have environments. Okay. So let me run it. Okay. So ideally, we have to search from here. Okay. This is the endpoint for doing a flight search. Okay. So it says could not send request. That is because the backend actually is not running. We need to run our project. So I'll come here, run this project. Not this is the wrong command. Let's say, wow, let me just run it. Actually, this is saying Docker compose app. Simple as that. I don't think I need these others. I'll remove them. So looks like it's running properly, no error. So I'll come here and say send request. So you see wait 200, okay, okay. So that's okay. So when you pick the first flight offer, okay, we pick it, and then in this next request is for confirming a flight. So I'm just showing you that it works, okay. So this one is also okay. And now the one which was failing last time is also should also now work, okay. And I'll say send request. It's taking some time. Fingers crossed. I hope this performs. And there we are. Okay. We get the ID. Okay. And we even get the reference. Okay. So you see it's working. Okay. And now, like I was telling you, I'm now using Postman because actually here it's quite easier to organize everything. Okay. I can have my location here. I can save my information. Okay. I can have environments. You see, I have an environment for this. Okay. I'm going to be creating environments and it's going to be flexible. Okay. So yeah, the documentation is good for people who need documentation, but for execution, I think Postman is way much better. So one thing else I want to show you. Oh, Guren, how are you doing? Thank you for joining today's stream. I hope you're picking something from me. How's it going on your end? Is Guren still here? Hope it's okay. So yeah, that is how I was able to get successful with this. Okay. Grant says it's going pretty good. That's good to know. So I want to show you another way, which I saw from their walkthrough. Okay. If you want to avoid this, and it's something I'm going to try later. Okay. And it's let me show you from their documentation. Okay. If we from what I see the examples, if you do a request, okay, let me expand this so that you see, okay, using the request module, okay, without having to use the SDK, okay. So if you look at my code, I'm using the SDK. You see, I say from Amadeus, okay. So I installed the Amadeus SDK, and I want to remove this squiggly line by selecting an interpreter. I'll say select interpreter, and I pick my virtual environment, okay. So this should go away, but it's not. Select interpreter. Why is it not picking? Okay. It's okay. I'll ignore it and fix that later. But I want to show you something. Okay. Using Python requests. Okay. We can do the same thing. I'll say import requests. Okay. So using requests. Okay. I can say requests dot post. Okay. So it takes in the URL. Okay. And the data. Okay. So for the data part, I would have to construct something like this, okay? Say the data, okay? Data, then have something like flight search, okay? This is the first flight offer, okay? Here, and then the travelers, comma, next line, travelers. This is how it would be constructed. And then here, okay? I would say comma, let me say body. Let me say request body equals to this. Then the body would be that dictionary. Okay, this is how it would be. Okay, ideally like this. And then for the URL here, I would have to change. Okay, so if I go up here, you see they say base URL is test.amadeus v2. Okay, so I'll come here and paste that one there, okay? Then after that, go on and where is it? Like, for example, use this one here. I don't know why I can't copy this. I want to select this whole text, but for some reason I cannot select all of it, okay? So slash v2 slash shopping slash, is it flight offers? Yes, flight offers. Flight dash offers, okay? This is how I saw them doing it, okay? And when they sent the data, it actually worked. Even when this, okay, is not coming from a previous direct call, okay? When it's just raw JSON from a client, it was working. And I saw them in their guide, it was working, okay? So this is something I'm going to try later. I'm going to create a version 2 of this in the future stream, probably after we deploy it to AWS, because I think either in the second two streams away from now, I'm going to deploy to AWS even before completing, okay? Just to show how to deploy to AWS so that we work on the DevOps backend, and at some point I'll be flipping between DevOps, frontend, backend, like that. So this is how it worked. I saw them doing it, and actually it worked. They were not using the SDK. So it's very interesting that even in their online guide, they were not using the SDK. So I was like, okay, why are they doing this? Okay. So I'm going to switch to this very soon, okay? So this is how I got over the flight create order. So for this, I also want to modify it and see whether it will work, okay? So because we have this return date, okay? We have this return date that we want to edit. So I'll just copy, maybe just even remove this, okay? And just say body dot update, okay? Instead of, let me show you what I'm trying to do. Instead of redefining the whole dictionary, okay, and just changing one field, okay, we can do it the Python way by saying body dot update, okay. What do we want to update? We want to update the return, okay, it's the return date, okay, with a value called from request body dot get, open brackets, close, quotes, return date, okay? So this is what we want to update. So I'll close this, okay, remove it, okay, and save just to check to see if the server is running, okay? See, we have an error, says no more named requests, okay? So this is the issue. Yeah, and of course, to use requests, we have to import it, okay? We have to pip install, actually in this case, UV add requests, okay? And when that time comes, and because I'm going to redefine this, okay? I'll leave this, but I'm going to redefine it. But this time I'm going to use the request module, okay? And we see for ourselves if that works. So now when I come down here, okay, where this, okay, this is the update that I've done. So I'm going to go to Postman and execute the same endpoint to see that everything works, okay, and it's not breaking, it's not failing. And if it works, then I move on to show you something else. And actually, if there's time, I want to show you how to do a flight search the easier way, okay, the easier way. So yeah, we are progressing slowly. Soon we'll be into things like deploying to AWS, working with things like Terraform, shall deploy to Lambda, work with the Kubernetes and stuff like that. If I check here my plan, we are going, because we now need to deal with managing bookings and handling the current user, because ideally only a person who has logged in should be able to create a flight order, okay? So but you see this route, no, this is how the route is right here, okay? We are creating an order without being logged in, okay? So we need to handle that, okay? I think in the next stream shall do that, ensure that someone is logged in and is what can also create a booking. All right, so looks like, yeah, I forgot to show you. I moved away from this screen without actually showing you the real stuff. So this is actually working, and okay. So I made another change, which I want to show you, okay? So if you look at flight search requests and flight offer, okay? I simplified them, okay? Because one of the disadvantages I'm discovering of using AI for learning is that it gives you a lot of gibberish and you end up into trouble, okay? You spend hours debugging. So I actually simplified it for myself by just taking the time to do more research on the Amadeus website, reading about what they do, understanding what flight data is all about, and it's actually way much easier. So if I go to flight search requests, okay, you'll see how simple it is now. Okay, it simply has a currency code, I mean, original destinations, travelers, sources, and such criteria. Okay, and and remember, this is for a post request. Okay, remember, this is router.post, so a post request. There's even an easier way of doing it with a get, which I'm going to show you very soon. Very easy, way easier. Okay, so we have a currency code, which is a string, original destination, which is a list of original destination. If you go to original destination, it is up here. Okay, I mean, not original, but origin. An origin destination simply has an ID, which is a string, an origin location code, which is a string, a destination location code, which is a string, and the departure date time range, okay, which is of type departure date time range, okay. This departure date time range is also a base model, okay, a pandatic base model, but simply has a date and a time, which are strings. Now, let me tell you something, okay. Earlier on in the other code, which I've abandoned, okay, and those of you who are joining, I am recreating everything, okay. I abandoned this flights module here and I began creating the things on my own. Okay. And when I was recreating them, I even made another mistake by copying some of the things from this other side into this. Okay. And I hustled. Now listen what I hustled. Okay. Why I hustled was because when I copied, what I copied was generated by AI, and it had here things like date. Okay. Now, date cannot be so like this. So like date. So ideally AI had done this. It had said from date time import date time. Okay, so here we had something like date time dot date. Okay, and of course AI failed, but it was so hidden that I failed to recognize it, because a date time dot date is not JSON serializable. Okay, and Amadeus only works with strings, so but strings are easily JSON serializable. So take note of these kind of things. Okay, I hustled and it took time. So I actually discovered that the issue is actually me. Okay. I was sending the wrong requests. I hadn't understood properly what Amadeus was trying to say. Okay. So it took time to understand their documentation, and now things are much better. So yeah, the difference between understanding documentation is can be like night and day. Okay. And yeah, now the understanding of how their API works is much better. Now I'm going to build my API based on theirs, because there's so many things I need to add here. Okay. For example, every time someone creates a booking, I'm supposed to have a copy of that booking in the database. I have not worked on payments, which needs to be worked on. Okay. But let's continue with this. Okay. So I've showed you departure time range. I've showed you origin destination. The next field here, okay, is the travelers, which is a list of traveler. The type of traveler is up here. Traveler is where? Here. Okay. A traveler has an ID, has a traveler type, has an associated adult ID, which is optional. Why is it optional? Because the default value here is none. Okay. Then if you go down again to our main class, remember this is the main class. Okay. These others are simply subtypes of this one. Okay. So take note of that. We have sources, which is a list of strings. Okay. And such criteria is of type such criteria, which is this one here. Okay. So such criteria has things like exclude allotments, add one-way offers, max flight offers, allow alternative fare options, one flight offer per day, additional information, pricing options, filters. Okay. Additional information, you can see its type is actually right here. Where? Right here. Okay. Simply has checked bags, chargeable checked bags, branded fares, and fare rules. As simple as that. Okay. This is for pricing options. Which other one do we have? Okay. We had flight filters. Okay. If you go up to flight filters, okay, it also has a number of attributes. These are the booleans, okay, and these also have what? Subtypes, okay, like career restrictions, a list of cabinet restriction, and connection restriction. Where are they? We have connection restriction here, which is mapped here. Cabin restriction is up here, which simply has cabin, which is a string, coverage, which is a string, origin destination IDs, which is the list of strings, connection restriction, okay, has booleans, okay, as simple as that. So yeah, I took time to understand what they were doing, and I was doing it on like 30 minutes a day because the whole week was quite busy. So this whole all about search filters. And today now I want to walk you through something, okay? How to build, we're going to build an endpoint, okay, for searching for flights, but using get, okay? And you're going to see how easy and painless it is actually when you just follow the documentation step by step, okay? So I think it's time for us to do that, okay? So wait, but there's one more change I think I made. I made a change to also flight offer request, okay? I have a module for flight offer request. Let me try to go to it. Why is it not giving it to me? Flight offer requests. Let me go to the actual code by myself, okay? So you say I have for flight order, which I've showed you. I have for price confirmation, okay? If you open here, you'll see a flight offer request for price confirmations, okay, which is also has its own definition, okay? But I think this, if I'm not careful, this will easily clash with, okay, oh, I thought the names were the same. They're different. This is flight order, this is flight offer request, okay? And this one is flight search request, okay? So for flight site requests, well, this is for posting, for a post, okay? Which has things like the currency code, a list of origin destinations, travelers, but the get endpoint has nothing like list of travelers, okay? And it's much easier to use. And I've seen several websites work in the same way. Let me show you, okay? If I go to Fly Emirates, okay? Fly Emirates, because I want to build some my engine like this, okay? You're going to see. Let me show you something in a moment. If I go to book a flight, okay, you're going to see the number of fields they have. You see, they have departure airport, okay, they have arrival airport, okay, then just simply the dates, okay, the departing date and returning date. Let me expand it so that you see it better, okay. Then they have the number of passengers, okay. Then they have the class. Is it economy, premium, business class, first class? Here they have the number of adults, children you have, etc. Way much easy, okay? If it's one way, you choose, okay? So I want to put an endpoint whereby you're doing a basic search for that, okay? This is how they do it, and it's actually very easy. I've discovered some of the things successes are simply is because of doing things easy, okay? And I'm going to do that, okay? And when I'm done with it, and some of the things like I've been telling you very soon, I want to deploy it to AWS and get just a basic MVP, okay? Something which is able to allow you to search for a flight, okay? See the available flights. After seeing the available flights, book, okay? Hello, Ogembo. Nice to have you on the call. How are you doing? I mean, on the stream. I'm used to calling them calls because of Zoom, but still, they are meetings. Actually, this is also a meeting, actually, because we're meeting online. How are you doing, Ogembo? So, I want this is the MVP, okay? Our goal for the MVP is this: search for flight, okay? View the things you've searched for, confirm the price, okay? After that, after you've confirmed the price, what do you do next? Book, okay? But before you book, there's a step which is missing. You must be able to log in if you're not logged in, or register if you don't have an account, okay? That is why I was telling you the endpoint. Let me show you the endpoint here, okay? This endpoint called flight order is not complete. We must get the current user, okay? When we determine the current user, we shall be able to know that the person is either logged in or not, okay? Then when they have logged in, that's when we can allow them, okay? That's going to be the goal. Get in next stream, getting the current user, and then after that, when we create a flight order like this and it's been successful, we need to create a copy of our own in the database, having the order ID, okay, and the user ID. Using the user ID and the order ID, we shall be able to identify which user has booked and which booking, okay? We can make a request to Amadeus later using the booking ID, okay, to filter and look at the booking status and things like that, okay? So what next do I want to show you, okay? So all these, many of the things I'm going to get rid of them, okay? But for now, I want to show you something, okay? I want us to implement searching for flight, but using using get. Okay. So if I come here, you see they say flight offers search. We did the post. Okay. And post goes has a lot of things. Look at their body, currency code, origin, destination. I'm not saying it's not bad. It's very good. Okay. For the use case. Okay. You have the traveler information, search criteria. It's like more powerful. Okay. But usually for an MVP, you need something basic. Okay. Because I want something basic which will be usable by real users before I continue expanding it. Okay. So to do that, they use what? Get. The get. Remember, these are today's shopping flight offers. They say return a list of orders based on posted searching criteria. Even get, they say get shopping flight offers, return list of flight offers based on searching criteria. So they return the same thing. Okay, but we simply have to change. Ogembo, I'm okay. Okay, I'm okay. Thank you for checking on me. I hope you're all, you're also doing okay, and everybody else who's following is okay. So you see here, all we need, okay, for this endpoint, okay, is the origin location code, destination code, departure date, okay, return date, which is optional, number of adults, okay, children, okay, infants, travel class, included airline codes, excluded, done stop, okay. But these are optionals, okay. So for now, I can build, okay, a kinetic model which will take this one, first of all, the required fields, okay? Because remember, we are building on top, okay, on top of their API, okay. So for now, we are just making sure that our calls to the Amadeus API are perfect. Then there's certain things I want to build up on top, okay, like things like catching, storing things in our database, sending notifications, payment platforms, and so many other things that are involved, okay. So let us do the get, okay. So when I come here, okay, I want you guys to give me an idea, okay. Since we have, if you go to our service, okay, where is it? No, it's the router, okay. We have search flights posts. How can I name, okay? How can I name the second one for get, okay? Should I give it the same name? What do you say? So let me come here. Actually, I want to first commit the changes that we made, okay? But maybe I need to remove things like this. Need to go. Actually, I need to remove it, okay? If I copy this and I go to that other file, I need to delete that code inside here, okay? Say Control F, I search for it, okay? So this, okay? This I'm not using this anymore. So I do not need to confuse me. I'll remove it. Then also, when I come to routers, I can now remove this from here since I'm not using it. Then after that, I can also remove this other one, okay? Since I'm not using it, but I want to delete it also from the schemas. Come here, flight order request, this one, okay? So we shall be refactoring, okay? Creating an application is not a one day thing. Let me give you a word of encouragement. Something I saw someone posting on LinkedIn, and it encouraged so many people. It can actually also encourage you. Let me show you. If I go the React, okay, let's say React, or maybe not React, since we're dealing with Fast API, you go to Fast API GitHub, okay, and you look at the GitHub repository, you're going to see something interesting. Hold on, okay. If I expand, you see Fast API, which is a very powerful framework, okay. They have 49 issues, okay, 49 issues, and some of them are bugs. See, this is a bug, okay. This is a bug, okay. Others are questions. This is a bug. You see, a framework like Fast API has bugs, okay. So even us, we cannot be perfect in just a moment. Okay, so you're going to see me breaking the code, improving it, changing, removing things. Okay, one good quality you should have is not, as a software engineer, is not to get too much attached to code. Okay, you can always change it. Okay, if we go to maybe React, okay, you'll see the same thing. Okay, they have so look at this, 805 issues, and I'm sure some of them are bugs. Okay, if I look for their labels, okay, you see, type bug, okay, type bug. This is React, powerful framework. So that idea of perfection. Do something every day to grow your project. You can never be good. That's why you see me. I came here and said I'm going to learn FastAPI and build a project in public. Whether I fail, I'm going to still learn. If I get a bug, I'll learn every day. Okay, that's the same mentality. So yeah, I've gotten rid of some of the things here. I don't know if there's anything else I will need to remove, but I'm going to keep on removing, adjusting. Okay, even these modules, I'm going to harmonize them. If I need to have separate, it will be separate. If I need to have one, it will be one. Okay, as long as the goal is to have a clean code base and something maintainable. So to have good functionality and something maintainable, always sometimes you have to break your code, okay, for the sake of achieving what you want to do. So now, like I said, I want to create another function, okay. This thing is going to be post, okay. So let me add it here, okay. And today I don't want to do AI stuff, okay, to end up in tears. Let's do manually. I've learned a lesson. AI will come when it makes sense. Okay. Say app. Okay. So I want a similar endpoint. Okay. This same endpoint. Okay. So let us see what will happen. Okay. This an endpoint. Then I can say full colon. Come here and I say async dev. Okay. Can I if I call it search flights 2, okay, like that. Okay. Then for now, I simply return a string, an empty string. And I need to fix the spelling of return here, okay? An empty string and save. When I save, okay, here, this is wrong. This is the wrong syntax, okay? I have to save. If I just to confirm, you see everything's now okay, okay? Our application is running. So if I go to the browser, I can now say localhost 8000 / docs, okay? Look at us. We began with only one endpoint. We began with the register, we have token, we have, you see, we are growing slowly. We are reaching there. Very soon, this thing is going to be functional. Trust me, okay? By the time I am done, we are done with this. You'll be shocked at what is going to happen, okay? Even when I test the thing on the market, I'll give you a report. So you see, we now have two, okay? Shopping flight offers, okay? Which is a get, and shopping flight offers, okay, which is a post, okay. Just like you see in Amadeus, their documentation, they also have both, okay. So yeah, I want to have two, okay. And this other second one is you're going to see it's going to help us perform even better, okay. Okay, not better. Let me not say better to exaggerate it, but it is gives us it's a quicker way of doing a search. Okay, if you don't have to have you don't have to do an expansive search for flights. Okay, so let's come here. We want to define the request model. Okay, so I'll say the request. Okay, uh, this it cannot be this flight search request. Okay, because if you look at this flight search request, it has so many things like sources, search criteria, which they get endpoint. If you look at the get endpoint of Amadeus, where is it? Here, okay? It doesn't have things like that, like search criteria, okay? It doesn't offer you those kind of things, okay? So we need to come back here and define another one, okay? So what name can I call it? Okay, flight. Help me in the chat, guys. Help me out here. Flight search requests. I'm running out of variable names. Okay, base model. Okay, and I say maybe pass for now. What can I give it? Should I say flight search request 2? Help me out. What can I do? I need suggestions. Should we ask AI? Okay, as you think about the name, let's populate. Okay, let's populate the fields here. So if you find original code is required, okay, I'll come here and say origin code required. Guren says, I don't know. Ogemo says V2. Victory says, let's ask AI. Okay, we can. Okay, let's do it. Okay, let's go with Victory's. Okay, Ogemo says V2 like this. Okay, but let's ask AI. Okay, we're going to ask AI. Let's do this. Okay, let's find out what AI can tell us. Okay, for context, let me say how rename give. Let me say act as act as a senior, let me say backend developer, okay? Backend developer, okay, like that, okay? Rename, I I have two models in flight. I want to get the path of this, okay? Copy relative path, okay? In, okay? One for the post, one to handle, one for the post method of, one for the post method of Amadeus search, flight search. Why am I putting uppercase? And the other for, come on, I can't even type well. Other for, Gren says you can actually attach the file rather than providing the path. Oh, thank you for that. Amadeus get method. Give me, give a better name for the second model. I don't know if it's a good prompt, whether it's a good prompt or not. Let us see what AI can do. Says can attach. I think yeah, that's possible using art. I think art. Say files, folders, flight search. Yes. Thank you, Goren. Actually, this had skipped my mind. So if we hit send, let us see if it will have. Wow, interesting, guys. Look at that message. You have hit your usage limit. All right, my friends, we are stuck. Upgrade. Who can give us some money? Okay, I don't know if it's Victoria, Greno, or Gambo. Okay, maybe even Linus if he's here. Give us some money. Let's upgrade. You things are over prompting. Look at what has happened. Crazy. Okay. All right. Think about a name. Okay, as I populate the fields here. Okay. Next up, we have a destination location code. Okay. So this is required and it's a string. Victor says, paste the prompt here. Let me use mine. Oh, cool. Let me copy this. Okay. Oh, Gwen says we are broke. Wow. Let me look for YouTube. Okay. I want to find, how can I easily find YouTube account? Go to live. Okay. Open this and go to the chat. Let me pause this. I'm hearing myself. There is the prompt. Okay. Saying error. Why is it saying error? I can't even send a message to myself on YouTube. Okay, I've sent. Now let me get the code. Wow. Wait, this is the wrong file actually. Is this the correct file? This is the file I wanted to but I'm going to show you something, okay? This is not a file, okay? If you think about it, let me show you something. Is it the one? Just a moment, guys. Wait. Let me first do this to remove this error temporarily. Flight search request. Oh, yeah, it's the one. I was getting confused for no reason. It's the one. So let me go here and paste, okay, the code. I don't know if it will allow me to paste that amount of text. Wow, it can't. Let me do this. Copy. And I see if Guren will be able to, okay. But it says error. All right, Guren, see what you can do. Looks like it's not. Guren says, I guess if you have a unique email, you can have it for free. Oh, really? Guys, how can I get a unique email? There are examples. Okay. So let's continue. Let me see. Victory says here are some better naming suggestions for the second model. Amadeus flight search response, Amadeus flight search result, Amadeus flight search get, Amadeus flight search retrieve, Amadeus flight search query. Okay. All right. I don't know which one can we pick, guys. Let's pick one. Okay. So let me add this one. Departure date. Departure date will be a string. Okay. By the way, don't get excited and put here a date time dot date. Okay. And you think you're wise like me. I don't know, for some reason, I don't know what happened to me, by the guys. This week, I don't know whether it was because of too much work or something. I kept on doing this, like the things like this, okay? And I don't know what, I just don't know, okay? In my mind, I know that right now, of course, I know. Even before that, I knew that a datetime.date is not JSON serializable. What made me put it there, I don't know. Maybe this fake illusion created by AI, okay? But ideally, it's supposed to be a string, okay? And actually, if you look at this, it is a string, okay? Then you have a return date. Return date is optional. Okay. Return date is optional. So str or none. Okay. And the value option, because we want to make it optional, this has to be equals to none. Remember that if you don't, you'll be in pain. Grace says, if you're a student, how can I fake being a student? How can I halsnet myself into a student? Let me see. But you can be a student. Even right now, I'm a student. Okay. I'm learning FastAPI and I'm building a project and learning a lot while building it. So I'm a student. Okay, Ogembo has some ideas for us. Says flight search request V2. V2 would mean, actually, by the V2, Ogembo, do you know that V2 would mean version 2? Ideally, this is not version 2, okay? Or just 2. Flight search, flight search retrieve request, okay? Remember, this is also retrieving, okay? Or, guys, think about it. What if, actually, I think Victory had given us something like that, okay? Say flight search request get. And this one, we say flight search request post. What do you think? Guys, if I do this, flight search request post, flight search request get. Tell me. Sometimes I think when you even tired, you even forget about ideas. Grain says it's good. Ogembo G says that makes sense. I don't know what the rest of you think, but let's go by that. I would assume they are representing everybody. So where is that? Okay. We have here flight search request. So it has to be flight search request get. And this one, yeah, like so. Okay. So then what else? We come and import. I think we have to import now this one, flight search get, okay, to use it here. Where is this? I want to cancel that and put it here, okay, like that. But we need to import it. No. This has to be post, guys, okay. This one has to be post. What's wrong with me? Okay, this has to be post, and this one get. So you have to import also post, okay, like that. Okay, now we need to complete this one. This has to be request. My spelling of request was wrong. Okay, so we have to complete this one. Okay, when we go back here, we see we have adults. This time I learned the hard way. Okay, I learned the hard one. I'm not allowing AI to hallucinate any rubbish for me. Int an integer and it's required. Okay, then we have children. Okay, look at this. It says adults, the number of adult travelers, age 12 or older on a date of departure. The total number of seated travelers cannot exceed 9. Default value 1. Okay. So, what we learned from FastAPI, who remembers something called field? We learned about a tool called field. Okay. And this field, okay, this field function. So I'll come here, okay, on adults and say equals to field, okay, default value equals to 1. Okay. What are the information? Cannot exceed 9. Okay. Default equals to 1 and is greater than or equal GE greater than or equals to 9. Now FastAPI makes sense. I'm way more happier today than the times where AI hallucinates for you, and then your eyes are okay. You're like they're wide open. You're like, what should I see first? Okay, let me stop over talking. I might actually be over talking, and yet things are bad. Okay, but let's continue. Okay, I hope this is correct. Okay, if you read this, do you get the same interpretation? I hope I've interpreted it right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, actually, we should have read all these things. Okay, these things here. Okay, these things, because it helps you to send the correct data. Okay, so if you go for adults and I read it again, see the number of adult travelers age 12 or older on date of departure. The total number of seated travelers, adult and children, cannot exceed 9. Default is 1. Okay, so I don't know whether they've not talked about minimum being 0. Probably it can be 0. Okay, but I'll leave it as greater than or equals to 9. Default value is 1, and adults. Okay, is an integer. So we go to the next value, children. Okay, they say the number of child travelers older than age 2 and younger than age 12 on date of departure who will each have their own separate seat. If specified, this number should be greater than or equal to 0. The total number of seated travelers and children cannot exceed 9. Okay, when you combine the number of adults, okay, and children, so like us who are from this continent where we give birth a lot, okay, you'd have to do a booking probably with maybe your uncle, auntie, or brother or sister going with the other kids in another probably the same flight but under a different booking. Okay, so children, I'll say can I say which is if specified this number should be greater than or equals to 0. So it's optional. Okay, and remember, all these are queries, by the way. Are you seeing query, 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 query? Does that speak to you? Which means this path operation has to change. If you remember what we learned in my live streams on FastAPI, what is wrong about this? Be thinking about that, okay? For now, I want to add the children, okay? So I'll go to the flight search. I say we need a child, children, I mean. What's wrong with missing we need a child? Children. We need to define a children attribute, which is an integer, and I say equals to field, okay? And should be greater or equals to 0. By the way, guys, I think I'm just maybe tired. And you guys, I think also are probably also tired like me. This is wrong. This saying GE greater or equals to 9. If you say the total number of seated travelers, this should not be here. Okay? This is wrong. I should not put this here. Okay? And in any case, if something should not exceed 9, it should be less than or equals to 9. Guys, what's happening? Have I done something? You know, in my country, they say when you're like me, they say you've smoked dust. Instead of saying you've smoked weed or cigarette, they say you're smoking dust, or you're smoking posho flour. I don't know. In some countries, the flour for making fufu. I don't know if you know fufu or ugali. That flour. That's what they say you've smoked. Maybe I've smoked dust or something. Crazy. Yeah, but this should not be done here. Okay, because you have to calculate the adults plus children. Okay, so this will be somewhere else. Actually, Amadeus will do this for us. By the way, they will check the number of children. I mean, the number of adults we have specified and the number of children we have specified. Then they will add them to be what less than or equal to 9. Okay, but the default value for adult should be 1. You should have at least 1 adult, and the children should at least be greater than or equals to 0 in case you populate it. Okay, and it's okay, it's optional. So I'll say, let me just do this, or none, okay, and do equals to none. Why have I removed them? Because this other check, okay, in case we populate and put something vague, Amadeus will tell us the value. Okay, that you can, for example, you cannot put -1. Okay, I hope you understand that. So this is okay. This will work. Okay. So they say infants. Okay, and they say the number of infant travelers whose age is less than or equals to 2. Okay, and if they're saying, look at this, infants travel on the lap of an adult traveler, and thus the number of infants must not exceed the number of adults. Okay, you cannot say, wait, I need to ask people a question. What if you have twins and you're an adult? Which means one person cannot travel with twins on a plane alone. If it's a mother, it must be mother and father with the two twins. If you have triplets, which means you have mother, father, the triplets, you would need an uncle or a friend to carry for the other child, the third child. I don't know. I'm just trying to interpret this. You let me know if I'm wrong. Because many of you might be watching, but you're in aviation. So are you seeing this? They say if specified, this number should be greater than or equals to 0. So let's implement infant. Social are also optional. I'll say infants integer equals to or none. Okay, you can give it, it can be none. It's not required. I say travel class. Okay, travel class is also, what is it? It's a string. Okay, I'll say int equals to none. So it just be equals or none. Okay, so that's how you make it optional. Airline codes. Okay, of course, travel class we know. Okay, it refers to the economy, premium economy, business, or first class. Okay. Ogembo says, my understanding is an infant cannot travel alone. Yes, that's correct. But now, Ogembo, if you had, like, for example, twins, okay, two children, you cannot travel with them, even if you're an adult. You have to move. One child infant will be carried with you, then another infant carried by another child. Okay. Daniel says, you said int, not string. What was that? For travel class? Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It is a string. I told you, I've smoked dust. Now look at what I'm typing. I'm typing string. Although this is, I don't know, Java or JavaScript, whatever. It's supposed to be str. Then airline codes, we need to check. Airline code, they said this option ensures the system will only consider these airlines. Okay. So airline code is also a string. Okay. str or none. Daniel, I appreciate. Where are you watching from, Daniel? Okay. So a string or none and default value none. So all these are optional. We're seeing none, 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 none as the default value. They're optional. They say exclude. This is simply the same thing as this. Okay. If you want to exclude airline lines, so this one will also be the same thing. I'll just copy. Daniel from Ghana. Thank you for learning together with me and building this together with me online. Daniel, I have many friends from Ghana. About a year and a half ago, I worked with a friend from Nigeria who is a manager of managing a company in Uganda, and he was starting a project. Okay. And along the way, after we built the whole thing, it was a booking application for things in Nigeria, booking hotels, booking co-working spaces, salons, and things like that. And later on, when the project advanced, the manager brought on a developer from Ghana. Okay, this guy called Joshua, and yeah, Joshua Okwapa, and I learned a lot from that guy. Okay, he's one of the first Ghanaian developer I worked with hands-on on a project, and up to now we are great friends. I have people from Ghana; they are very interesting people. Every time I meet people from Ghana and people from Nigeria, it's always a time where I just be happy. There's a way people do you know they call beef in fun, beefing each other, having fun, and like things like it took me time to understand why one jollof is better than another jollof. Why? So yeah, these people are the originators of jollof, and I'm not the originator of jollof. It took me time. Okay, it took me time until after a long time with interacting with Nigerians and Ghanaians, and I came to understand the why. So someone this group says it's mine, another group says it's mine, and I'm on this go. Don't. Oh my God! Look at Victory saying Nigerian jollof is better. I'm not going to pick a side. Okay, I know how heated those things can be. Where else where I work, uh, at ALX, sometimes during the meetings, so because ALX has workers all over the world, you find in the chat people now focusing on just jollof for like 20 minutes. Okay, here they're presenting something about how to better the world. People in the chat on jollof, and people talk about jollof for like 20 minutes. I mean, like, wow, wow, it's so crazy. Okay, yeah, so interesting. It made me to value people's cultures and to get deeper into cultures of West Africa. It's crazy. You need to go online and look at banter between Nigerians and Ghanaians. You laugh, okay? And actually, when you see someone at like on online like saying something fun about Ghana or saying something about Nigeria, just open the comment section, okay, and have fun. Now look at Daniel saying it's Ghana Jollof. You guys one day will start one World War Two, jokingly. I mean World War Three. Okay. Let's continue. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for following along. So let's finally look at this. Not finally. I think we have a few more. We have non-stop. Okay. Non-stop is optional. Okay. Actually, let me just copy all of them at once. Then we edit. So non-stop is a boolean. Okay. So it's a bool. Okay. Then we have currency code. What is currency code? The preferred currency for the flights, and the currency is specified in ISO format, okay, like euro, EUR for euro, okay, and of course you can guess USD for dollar. So currency code, I'll copy it and come on, go on. I was going to copy it and paste here like this as the type. uh Crazy. It's supposed to be STR, okay. Then max price, we come here, okay. What is max price? It's an integer. Let's say the maximum price per traveler. By default, no limit is applied. If specified, the value should be a positive number with no decimals. Okay, this is interesting. Whereby this is the first time I'm encountering money not being treated like a decimal. Okay, I'm so used to using decimal. Okay, for types. Okay, of money, but this one is okay. Interesting. All right. Then max say maximum number of flight offers to return. If specified, the value should be greater than or equals to 1. Default value 250. Okay, so of course now I wouldn't want this. Okay, I want to change this by the way to like, I think for my API, I want my API to bring like maximum of, let me see, if you're listing flights, cheapest flights on the page, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, this is a 5. Okay, 5. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to say max. Okay, max. What was it? An integer. An integer. Okay, equals to field. Okay, and default will be equals to 5. Let it be like that. Okay, then these others I'm just going to copy this. Okay, since they're optional. That that that. But this one also max is optional. But okay, let's leave it like this. Okay, so yeah, I think that is it. We have origin, destination, return. I feel like I want to put the mandatory fields up. Okay, the required fields first. Okay, then the optional fields next. So I'll shift this one there. Then max, I want to shift it there. Okay, so required fields, option, these ones which have default fields, then these ones are optional. Just to confirm, we can go back and we see how many are required. We have origin 1, 2, 3. Even departure date. What did I do? Okay, those are 3 so far. I thought I'd missed it. Then adults is also required. Adults is here. What else? Did I miss out any? Yeah, this is okay. And like you see, it's way much easier to deal with. Okay, way much easier to deal with. So if I go to our documentation here and I refresh, okay, and I go to flight offers search get, you see, it's showing request body. Now, who remembers how to fix this? Okay, we want it to be a query parameter. The hint is here. Okay, this not there, but rather here. Okay, if I come here, what should I change? Try to recall what we studied during the FastAPI streams. Who remembers? All right, let me not break your heads, okay, your minds. Simply, I have to simply come and say from FastAPI import, okay? Remember query? Do you know how to add metadata? Okay. And then we also need one more thing. So say from typing import annotated. Is it from typing or is it from FastAPI? Or from Pandatic rather. See, I'm also forgetting. That's why it is good to build projects from Pandatic import annotated. Look at me. It's not there. Is it from typing? Does someone remember? Or should we check the documentation? What do you say? From typing import annotated. Yeah, so annotated. Okay. So now to use query as a metadata, okay, I have to use annotated. Okay. Metadata simply means additional information. So for this request, okay, I can come here and remove this and say annotated, okay, put square brackets, specify the type, okay, so comma and the actual metadata, okay, about this. Okay, so annotated helps you to specify number one, the type of this parameter, okay, of this function parameter. The type is flight request get, which is this one, which we've just been working through. Then after that, we have uh, the metadata, okay, which is query, telling FastAPI that, okay, this parameter called request, okay, is of type flight such request get. Use it to extract the information and perform validation, okay. But in addition to that, it is a query parameter, like that. It is not a body parameter. It's not from the request body. It's a query parameter. And actually, if we go back to here, see, it says request body, okay, and no parameter. If I refresh, okay, and open up this, is it no this one here, okay? You see now we have query parameters. Do you see that? Isn't that cool? So I hope you remember that, okay? So what I'm going to do, so let's now quickly wrap it up, okay? I need to call our service. Let's go to let me close this, go to our service, okay? In our service, I can create flight order get, okay? Right there. I need to close this one, okay? Like this. I said define create flight order get, okay, and it's an instance method, so I'll say self, okay, and then we shall get the request body, okay. If you have another way of defining this, please let me know, okay. Request body is of type dictionary and we should return data of type dictionary, okay. So what we need here is to say the response that we're going to receive, okay, will be equals to self.amadeus dot where is it? There's an example, okay. You don't need to think hard, by the way. The example is in the code. If you look at their code here, okay, let me reduce this so that you see, okay. Their examples. If I don't even Amadeus flight, this they have post, where is flight search, okay, get, you're going to see an example for Python SDK here, okay. This is how you can work faster, okay. I just copy all this, okay. And just copy all this to make things easy. This is how you work faster, okay. You don't need to cram the things by the. So you've seen me always asking AI sometimes, okay, and failing miserably. Coming here, I paste, okay. So yes, I have to just simply indent this correctly, bring it here, okay, like that, okay. So here is supposed to be self with Amadeus, okay. Why self with Amadeus? Just to remind you, we have it here in our init method, okay. That self with Amadeus equals to client, which takes in our API key and the secret. which is in our environment variable. So I close this. Okay, says I have to remove this comment. Does not apply to us. Okay, so it says response equals to self.amadeus.shopping.flight offers search.get. Okay, then it has origin location code, destination location code, departure date, blah 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 until the end. Okay, but we don't want this. Okay, what we want, okay, is to pass in the request body. Okay, so I can unpack it. Since it's a dictionary, I can say star star request body. Okay, what does star star mean? Just remind you. Okay, since it's a dictionary, imagine we're going to have something like this. We have, like, for example, adults. Okay, adults 1. Okay, maybe origin. Imagine there's something called origin. Okay, origin location code. Maybe you're in New York, something like that. Okay, so ideally, how you'd call this? Okay, I'll copy. I just want to make sure that if anybody is here and is not understanding, they understand everything. Okay, another way of passing in the request body would be to do something like this. Okay, just if this dictionary is called maybe data. Okay, data equals to this. Assuming it is this one here. Okay, you'd have here to come here and say adults equals to data. Okay, adults. Okay, like that. Then again, you do the same thing for origin. Okay, I can just copy this, save time. I say comma. Okay, come on, what am I doing? Control Z, put here comma, and put the same thing. Say origin. Okay, equals to origin. We extract it from the dictionary, but this will be too much. Okay, so ideally we would have to do the same for the request body, something like that. Okay, like this, request body like that. Okay, and I remove this one. Okay, but this, now imagine if you had like 20 parameters, you'd have to do this, which is time consuming. Okay, so the best way to do it is simply you unpack like this. Okay, just like I did it for the flight create order here. Okay, so I hope you get the idea. So I'll remove this line of code, leave this one. Okay, so this is print response to the data. Maybe I don't need to print it for now. Let me just leave it like that. Okay, I don't need to print. Actually, what I need to do is to return. Okay, return response. This just be, I want to say dot data like this. Okay, so yeah, now we can go in our route. Okay, and call. Okay, so the response, we shall get our response from Amadeus flight service dot flight search create flight order. This is not, it's not supposed to be create flight order. This is supposed to be flight search. Okay, this one here, search flights. So this is flight search. Wait, so I told you I think I'm smoking flour for making fufu or something. Okay, or dust. Okay, I I I just copied this and I began coding without even thinking about it. And I think this is a disadvantage of AI. I think AI is I'm starting to feel losing my attention to detail because of over using tools like AI and stuff like that. I need to start giving attention to detail. So I'll come back in the router and say dot search flights get. Okay. Now we need to pass in the data from this request. Okay. So I need to convert it to a dictionary by saying request body would be equals to request dot model underscore dump. Okay, remember this method that we learned about. Okay, which replaced dict. Okay, it converts for you your Pydantic model to something which is JSON serializable like a dictionary, and this is going to be a dictionary. Then we can now pass this request body here like that. Okay, then I can come here and I say return response. Okay, now I'm going to copy this and put it in my postman. Okay, I had postman here. Okay, so if you go to my collections, you see I have flight search already, but for post. So I'm going to copy, duplicate. Okay, then come here, rename it to flight search, square bracket, I say get. Okay, the get method. But even then, without that, someone can see if I change this to get. Okay, I change this to get. The URL is the same, but this time the body has to be empty. I remove the body, expand it down. I don't know if you guys can see this clearly. Let me expand it slightly. Okay, like that. Okay, then no body. Okay, so I just need to send what they call them, parameters. Okay, so of course nobody is being sent params. Okay, this is the params you need to send. Okay, and we have seen that there are some which are mandatory. Okay, so yeah, I want to copy what they have in their code. Okay, so origin location code. Okay, so we have the origin location code. Okay, let me put NYC. Okay, I hope that's correct for New York. Okay, we have the destination location code. Go back to Postman, paste. I put loan. Okay, loan for London. Okay, so I just knew, I've just known them of recent. Okay, but there are many others, and we don't need actually to. Then I think departure date is also mandatory. Okay, I copy. Then I'm also going to copy their format here, but edit it. Okay, I'm going to copy it here and edit. So this is going to be 2025. I think this is the month 7. Let me put 10 like this. I hope that's the month. If it fails, they should be able to tell us. What else? Maybe adults. Okay. Come here, say adults. Hope this is correct. Adults 1. Okay. All right. Actually, if you look at the request, okay, look at the string here. Okay. They add for you. You see, you have a question mark, then the first parameter with its value. Okay. Another then and an ampersand, the next parameter, query parameter with its value, ampersand, query parameter with its value, ampersand, query parameter with its value. Okay, I'm seeing here a character which is not supposed to be there. Let me delete it. Yeah, that's a good thing of reviewing things again. You get to see them even better. Okay, so now moment of the truth. Let's find out if I've just been hallucinating. Say we have an internal server error. Okay, so what is wrong? Okay, say client error for this is what I heard about Amadeus. Okay, they don't tell you that this field, they are so strict with their security. They don't tell you that this is the string having the issue. Okay, they just simply tell you things are bad. Okay, not telling you what exactly is bad. So exception in AGI. Okay, what exception is that? They don't mention. Okay, we know that it's these lines of code, but they don't mention exactly what went wrong. Okay, so to figure it out, we have now to go through our information here. Okay, and figure out what's the wrong. What's the wrong? Have we used a wrong? Can I call it a wrong code? Okay, have we used a wrong code? Are we using the right code? These are the questions. Okay, so it's like, for example, is like NYC correct? IATA, what do they call them? They call them IATA. Okay, we also need to find out what is being printed here. Okay, the dictionary, is it sending empty values? Okay, where is it? Where is it? Here. Okay, we need to find out, is it printing empty values? Okay, I mean adding the fields which are probably not required. Okay, let me print here a message saying request body. This is the most the most challenging part of software development, but the most satisfying when you're successful. I don't know if you agree with me that the satisfaction you get from debugging successfully is very satisfactory. Let me see, where do we get? Do we have it? Look at this, guys. Can you see the issue? This is the problem. Okay, you see we have original location code NYC, destination location code loan, departure date that, adults that, max we have 5, which was a default value. Return date is none. Children, none. Infants, none. travel class, none. Include airlines, none. That's the issue. Those none stuff are the ones causing us problems. So how do we exclude them? Okay, that's the question we should be answering. How do we exclude them? Okay, and I think I remember we studied something like that, but I've forgotten. Okay, I've forgotten. So I want to say how to exclude none fields Pindatic. Let us see. Let us see AI. To exclude none fields. Aha. Okay, maybe I'm seeing, look at what AI is saying. Exclude none equals to true in model dump. Okay. Maybe it could be right. Let me expand this so that you can see it better. Okay. But I want to go to Pindatic. Even the what? The what is it called? FastAPI documentation. Okay. Let me do Control F. Right. Type exclude. Let us see where they take us. Look at this. The exclude parameter can be used to control which fields should be excluded from the model when exporting the model. So the exclude equals to true. This is not what I want. Okay. This is what I want. Let's show you what AI gave us. I hope it's right. Okay. Let's find out. Where is this? Model dump. Okay. If I say exclude none. So it was right. Okay. It was right. So let me first do this. Okay. Let me search in their documentation. I say model underscore dump exclude. Uh, why are they not showing me what I want? Okay. Let me do this. Model. But the easiest way to do this would actually be to check the official documentation of FastAPI. Okay. I think maybe I should do that. Okay. So we have your model dump. Control F, and we look for all where model dumps are. Okay. And we see if they have an exclude example here. Here they get by alias, not there. Okay. But of course, we see that there's a parameter called exclude none. Okay. From even the IntelliSense. So it does say true. Okay. And we see what happens. So I can even say here model dump. Okay. Look at this its definition. This is another way, by the way. Okay. I'm just showing you variations of how sometimes I think when I'm coding, I'm like, should I check the documentation? Should I check AI? Should I do this very fast? Should I do Stack Overflow? But this is another very quick way, actually quicker. Okay, if you look at model dump, the creators of model dump, they have mod, include, exclude, context, by alias, exclude unset, exclude defaults, exclude none. Is here. So let's hope this works. Okay. Save. Okay. And where's Postman? Send the request. Let's see what happens this time. Voila. Guys, clap for me. Or rather, clap for yourselves. I told you guys, the satisfaction you get after debugging successfully is better than anything. Prove me wrong. I feel more satisfied right now. Okay. So there we are. Okay. So let's try this. Okay. I want to switch off one. Hit send. Because remember we have a default value that says so it should work. Okay. So if I remove departure date, says unprocessable entity. Okay. Query departure required. Okay. So I'll do check it and hit. Okay. So wait for the response. You see, there we get the itineraries. Okay. We get the price. Look at the price in euros. Okay. So they're giving us in euros. Let us flip it to give us in dollars. Okay. What parameter was that for dollars? If I come here to flight search request, dollars. Where's the money thing? Currency code. Okay. Currency code. If I come here, where is params? Okay. Say currency code. I put USD and I send. So the price should now change from euros to dollars. Are you seeing? It has changed. Okay, interesting. Actually, I want it to be by default dollars. Let me change it right now. So here, currency code. Okay, it's optional. I'm going to say str and I say equals to field. Okay, field like that. Okay, default equals to USD. Okay, I want it by default to bring back dollars. Actually, I'm going to start making refactor in my application. So you'll show me, you're going to see me changing things. Okay, so as we build slowly by slowly. Okay, so if I come back here and I hit the request, we should get the current price in what? USD. You see, it's still the same price. Okay, so this time what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove currency code, switch it off. Okay, and then for adults, I'm going to say we have two adults. Okay, and you see what it says. Hit send, expand. You see, the price has increased. Okay, and it's still USD. That's good. Okay, so what else can I change here? I can't see what I should change. I think, yeah, if I see anything that needs to be default, I'll keep, yeah, flipping it slowly by slowly. So yeah, we shall keep modifying it because actually I've discovered, and this is true. I think it's very true. To be a great software engineer in any domain, let's say you want to create maybe a system for a laboratory. You must understand how a laboratory works to be able to create the perfect system for a laboratory. If you want to create a system for flights, like you have to understand how flights work. Okay, and that is something I'm now also been struggling with. And the more I understand it, the easier it is for me to debug and to do things. Okay, if you're creating a system for maybe I don't know, for road engineers, you must understand the workings of road, at least the basics, to be able to create a good application for them. So that is something I've learned the hard way. Okay, so yeah, I think that is it for today. We have achieved a lot. I've been able to show you all the bug fixes, the changes, and we've actually created also a new endpoint. Okay, so going forward, there are things that are coming up in the following week. Maybe let me just look at my list here to show you. We're going to have to validate, like I told you, this one here of which endpoint. Okay, if we go down here, the endpoint down here, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? This one here must be for valid user. So in the next stream, we have to be able to get the current user. We're going to talk about validating that this is a current user. Okay. After validating the current user, we can now create a booking. Okay, in our database. And I told you about that. Next up, even before we finish, I want us to deploy it. Since it's a Docker application, we're going to deploy a Docker application, but plus to EC2, to AWS EC2. Okay. Then after that, yeah, because in the end, it will not be on EC2. I don't think it will be on EC2 in the end. But I want this to be an opportunity for us to learn how to deploy it to EC2. At some point, I'll deploy it to either deploy it to DigitalOcean, deploy it to several sites. Okay, this as a way for us to see how concepts of deployment work across all the many deployment applications. Even GCP, we can deploy to GCP. Then we have things like Kubernetes. Okay, time is going to come. We have to talk about like things like GitHub Actions. We have to talk about things like Terraform. Time is going to come. I want to add AI here. I'm going to. So it's going to be a full blown project. Okay, and if you're excited about it like me, yeah, by the time we are done with, I don't know, maybe 3 months or a month, I don't know, it will be a lot of stuff. Okay, a lot of stuff done. Okay, and like I've told you, this is something for me it is personal and it's serious. I'm going to test it on the market. So I want the MVP, from searching flights to confirming a price to making flight orders to saving the order in the database to making payment, to be able to send information back to the user, to having the front end, to having the admin, all that. okay, will be done. But for now, I'm focusing on the backend. Yeah, and next week we shall look at things, okay, like deployment to AWS and checking the current user, ideally protected routes. Okay, so yeah, pretty interesting things coming up, and I'm very, very excited for them. So thank you for learning together with me. I appreciate Daniel from Ghana, Victory, who is a big fan of Nigerian jollof, and I'm guessing Victory, you're actually from Nigeria by the fact that you're supporting that. Ogembo, thank you for being active. Guren, thank you for being the first one to step into the waters in the chat. And yeah, let's keep learning together. And like I've told you, I learned FastAPI while you're seeing. Okay, we spent about 31 days, 31 streams rather, and I have built my first project using FastAPI while all of you are seeing. Okay, so I'm not like maybe perfect or something or guru. Always feel free to tell me what is wrong, teach me as we learn together. Okay, you give me advice, we learn together. So I share my experiences with you. In fact, that's something I want to be doing. As we go ahead, I'll be sharing with you experiences. Okay? What I've faced so far in the development world. Okay. One thing I know is that you can learn from someone who's been in the industry for 10 years, for 2 years, 4 years. You can learn anything from anybody. So yeah, Ogembo, I'm also super excited. So thank you all for learning with me today. Let's meet in the next stream. Okay, so yeah, I'll announce it in the community section of this platform or on LinkedIn and X like always. So bye for now. I hope you had a profitable stream like me. Talk soon. And of course, if you like this, yeah, you can share and yeah, you know the drill. Bye for now.